You have a type. You know you do. Tall, brunette, funny, ambitious, sweet. Maybe a little damaged so you can fix her. Maybe a little wild so she can fix you. You've been chasing this person since high school, since college, since your first heartbreak, since the last one. And every time you find her, it ends the same way. The fireworks, the crash, the confusion, I don't know what happened. We were so perfect for each other. But here's the thing you don't want to hear. You're not attracted to her. You're addicted to her. And addiction is not love. Addiction is repetition compulsion. It's your nervous system seeking out the exact emotional temperature it learned to call home when you were too young to know better. Today we're going to blow that up. We're going to look at why your type is not your destiny. It's your prison. And we're going to talk about how to break out before you waste another decade chasing a feeling that was never meant to last. If you're ready to stop chasing ghosts and start building something real, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Next week, I'm dropping the exact process for rewiring your attraction patterns from the inside out. You do not want to miss it. Your type was installed before you had a choice. Most people think attraction is natural, organic, just something that happens. But attraction is learned. It's conditioned. It's installed in your nervous system during your earliest experiences of love, attention, and emotional safety. If you grew up with a parent who was emotionally unpredictable, who was warm one day and cold the next, who loved you but made you work for it, your nervous system recorded that pattern as normal. Not because it was healthy, because it was familiar. And the human brain does not distinguish between healthy and familiar. It distinguishes between familiar and unfamiliar. Familiar feels safe even when it's painful. Unfamiliar feels dangerous even when it's good. So when you meet someone who is consistent, stable, kind without conditions, your nervous system gets bored. It gets anxious. It says, something's wrong here. This is too easy. Where's the chase? Where's the uncertainty? Where's the emotional roller coaster that makes me feel alive? And you mistake that anxiety for a lack of chemistry. You think, I'm just not feeling it. But what you're not feeling is the dopamine spike that comes from emotional chaos. You're not feeling the addiction. And because you're not feeling the addiction, you think the connection isn't real. When in reality, the real connection is the one that doesn't make you sick. This is why your type keeps ending the same way. You're not dating different people. You're dating the same person in different bodies, same emotional unavailability, same inconsistency, same need to perform, same inability to fully show up. And you think you're unlucky. You think you just haven't found the right one yet. But the right one has probably already crossed your path. She was the one who texted back consistently, the one who didn't make you chase, the one who was kind without making you earn it, the one who made you feel calm instead of crazy. And you passed on her because calm felt like boredom, because consistency felt like a lack of passion, because she didn't trigger the familiar ache that your nervous system has mistaken for love. You passed on her because she wasn't your type, and your type is a trauma response wearing a pretty face. Let me ask you something that might hurt. Think about the last 3 people you fell for, not the ones you dated, the ones you actually fell for, the ones who made your stomach drop, the ones you couldn't stop thinking about. Now be honest, did they make you feel safe? Or did they make you feel like you were standing on the edge of a cliff, never sure if you were about to fly or fall? Drop the word cliff in the comments if you're starting to see the pattern. I want to know how many of us have been chasing the fall. The psychology behind this is called repetition compulsion. Freud identified it over a century ago. The human mind seeks out familiar emotional experiences, even painful ones, in an unconscious attempt to master them, to finally get the ending we didn't get the first time. If you grew up with a parent who was emotionally distant, you will be drawn to emotionally distant partners. Not because you want to be hurt, because some part of you believes that if you can just crack the code, if you can just be enough, if you can just say the right thing or do the right thing, you'll finally get the love you were denied. You'll finally win. You'll finally be chosen. And every time you fail, every time the emotionally distant partner stays distant, every time the unavailable person stays unavailable, you don't leave. You try harder. Because leaving means admitting that the original wound was real, that the parent who couldn't love you fully really couldn't, that it wasn't your fault, but it also wasn't in your control. And that admission is more painful than the repeated rejection. So you stay, you chase, you perform, you shrink yourself into whatever shape you think will finally unlock their love. And you call it chemistry, you call it passion, you call it she's just my type, when it's actually your childhood playing on a loop, and you're the main character who never learns the lesson. This is why your type is the reason you're still single. Not because there aren't good people out there, but because good people don't feel like your type. Good people feel boring. Good people feel like something's missing. Good people feel like you're settling. And that feeling is not a sign that something's wrong with them. It's a sign that something's wrong with your wiring. Your nervous system has been trained to call chaos, love, and peace indifference. It has been trained to call pursuit, passion, and presence boring. It has been trained to call emotional unavailability mysterious, and emotional availability needy. And until you retrain it, you will keep passing on the people who could actually love you in favor of the people who keep you proving your worth. But here's the part that actually gives you power. You can rewire this, not with affirmations, not with positive thinking, not with just knowing your worth. You rewire it with evidence, with new experiences that contradict the old pattern, with the deliberate choice to stay when someone is consistent, even when your nervous system is screaming that something's wrong. Because the first time you date someone who is actually available, who is actually kind, who actually shows up, your body will panic. It will look for the trap. It will wait for the other shoe to drop. It will manufacture problems to recreate the familiar chaos. This is the withdrawal period. This is your addiction detoxing. And most people relapse at this stage. They find a reason to sabotage it. They pick a fight. They create distance. They say, I'm just not feeling the spark. And they run back to the familiar fire. But if you can sit through the panic, if you can let the anxiety pass without acting on it, if you can remind yourself that calm is not boredom, that consistency is not a lack of passion, that safety is not settling, if you can do that long enough for your nervous system to update its definition of normal, something remarkable happens. The person who once felt boring starts to feel like home. The consistency that once felt like indifference starts to feel like trust. The kindness that once felt like a trap starts to feel like love. And your type expands. It evolves. It becomes something that can actually sustain you instead of repeatedly breaking you. This doesn't mean you should date people you're not attracted to. It means you should question what you're calling attraction. Real attraction grows. It deepens. It becomes more potent over time. Addictive attraction peaks early and crashes hard. Real attraction makes you feel safe enough to be yourself. Addictive attraction makes you feel like you have to be someone else to keep it. Real attraction is consistent. Addictive attraction is intermittent. Real attraction builds a life. Addictive attraction builds a roller coaster. And if you're still single, if you're still cycling through the same pattern with different faces, if you're still confused about why nothing lasts, I want you to consider something radical. Your type is not your preference. Your type is your pathology. And the person who is actually right for you will probably not feel like your type at first. They will feel unfamiliar. They will feel too easy. They will feel like something's missing. And that missing feeling is not a lack of connection. It's a lack of chaos. It's a lack of the familiar ache. It's a lack of the emotional roller coaster that your brain has mistaken for love. Sit with it. Let it be uncomfortable. Let your nervous system learn that peace is not a threat, that consistency is not a trap, that being chosen without having to earn it is not boring. It's the whole point. So stop asking why you're still single. Start asking what you're calling love. Start asking whether the people who make you feel crazy are actually making you feel loved, or just making you feel alive in the way that a near-death experience makes you feel alive. Start asking whether the person who makes you feel calm is actually boring, or whether your nervous system is just so used to chaos that peace feels like a foreign language. Start asking whether your type is a choice or a compulsion, whether your attraction is a preference or a prison. Because the answer to that question is the answer to why you're still single. And the courage to act on that answer is what will finally set you free. If this hit you in the chest, hit that like button so more people who need this can find it. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to keep getting the real psychology that actually works in 2026. Drop a comment below with the word rewire if you're ready to break the pattern. And if you know someone who keeps chasing the same heartbreak in different bodies, send this to them. They deserve to know it's not bad luck, it's wiring. Until next time, stop chasing your type, start choosing your peace. This is Mind of Connection. I'll see you soon.